Hi, Tanna Marshall here with your Feel Good Friday message. And continuing our little Find What Feels Good series today, I want to talk to you about work and finding work that feels good to you. And I know a lot of people feel like their hands are tied as far as this. They have to just keep the job that they have, or they're trained for something specific and they have to get a certain kind of job in that field, or they have to make a certain amount of money. And of course, we all have to earn a living and make enough to support ourselves. But this is where law of attraction and your energy really come into things and can really help you out instead of approaching everything from a place of desperation, like, oh my God, I have to have this, from that place of survival, like I have to make this much money to survive. I want you to think about looking at work from a place of joy. What brings you joy? And maybe you have something that you want to be doing, having your own business, working independently. Like, I'm going to be growing my business after my mom is gone as a coach and a teacher and doing seminars and webinars and all that kind of thing. And I'm really looking forward to it. For now, I'm doing these videos. And fortunately, we are financially taken care of. We're on a fixed income, but it's abundant. I'm choosing to look at it as abundance. And so I'm not really getting paid for what I do with my mom right now, but in a way, I give myself a little bit of an allowance. But there are other aspects to it. I get to spend all this time with my mom, and even though it can be tiring and stressful, after she's gone, I'm going to look back on this time and be grateful for how much time I was able to spend with her in her lifetime. And you can have this feeling in any job. And I've mentioned before, I worked at Capitol Records for 20 years, and I've had, quite a few different jobs over the years. I bounced around Capitol quite a lot, but I had different jobs before that. I left Capitol, for a couple of really brief times, and I kept going back. But pretty much throughout my whole life, whatever job I had, if I didn't like it or it didn't feel good, I would get physically ill. Like, this is not the right thing for me. Or if it was just kind of miserable, I would be out from within a month, 3 months, something like that. And it's okay to do that. And you just have to trust that you will be taken care of. I mean, I understand there's that terror, that fear, like, I can't leave my job till I have a new one. And if that's the case, then do your best to look for something while you still have your current job. But the thing I really want to encourage you is to appreciate the job that you do have and the work that you do have, and look for aspects of it that make you feel fulfilled, that you really enjoy. And maybe it's just your coworkers. Maybe you don't love the job so much, but your coworkers have become great friends, and that's something you really look forward to every day, is seeing all those people. That was part of my Capitol experience. Maybe it's the work. Maybe you're doing something you really, really love and you appreciate being able to do what you love. Maybe it's something you trained for, got education for years, and you're finally doing it. And you can appreciate, oh my God, I'm finally doing it. I'm doing what I love. I'm doing what I'm trained to do. And just find what feels good in that aspect. So you want to find what feels good in the physical aspect of the job, like where you're going, what you're doing, the relationships, who are you with, what what's the energy around that job. And I always go back to my experience of Capitol, because I made a conscious decision way early on not to go above a certain level. And that's why, after being there for so long, I didn't rise up to, manager and supervisor and director and try to go for something like vice president of something. Because what I saw right off the bat when I started there when I was like 21 was, it seemed like if you had a higher position, you had to be on call 24/7. You didn't really have a personal life, and the company kind of owned you. And I thought, I don't want that. My personal life is way too important to me. My personal time is way too important to me. My relationships are too important to me. I'm not willing to sacrifice them for a job. And this many years later, knowing that I'm going to be growing my own business and being in the self-help world and studying with so many people who have grown their own businesses, help others to grow their businesses, I know I don't need to sacrifice any of that. And I don't need to kill myself to make a living and to make a very good living doing what I love. But I digress. So back at Capitol, I remember throughout the years thinking, I may not have the hugest salary, but I'm so happy. I loved it there. I loved working in the Capitol Tower, the round building in Hollywood. That was so much fun. It was so iconic. And I just made amazing friends right off the bat. And I kept accumulating friends over the years. As new people would come and go from the company, I kept the ones that maybe moved on, have new friends come in. So you can imagine pretty much, I would say 90% of my social circle, those 20 years came from Capital. I still have people from elementary school, I have a lot of people from high school, but Capital was pretty much the source of all my closest friends most of my early adult life. It's where I met my husband too. So I got my husband at Capital. So, but in my last couple of years there, things were getting kind of weird. There were, mergers, and my department was shuffled around a little bit. And the boss that I had been working with, I've had some amazing bosses there, absolutely amazing bosses. I'm still close friends with all of my major bosses, which is pretty cool. And they're all these amazing men that are still very much active in my life and important to me. But but aside from that, we went through some weird times where things were changing and it kind of became a more corporate atmosphere. But I still would acknowledge every day because I got there really early. So I'd be the one turning on all the lights on our floor. And as I was turning on the lights and looking around this empty floor, I would be thinking, you know what? I don't care if I don't have a huge salary right now. Money cannot buy the situation that I have and the happiness and the joy and the fulfillment that I have of being here and doing the job that I have. Because that job was the longest one. I had it for 11 years and it kind of grew and changed and morphed from staff assistant to a staff coordinator, department coordinator. I was kind of an office manager, even though that wasn't officially my title. It's what I did. And I loved it. I really, really loved it. And they were just always great people. There's just something about my Capital family. I'm sure other companies have this too, but there was something about Capital Records. And you could talk to pretty much anybody who worked there around the same time I did, late 80s, pretty much late 80s into the 90s. And also, the division I worked for later on, Special Markets. That was a really tight knit group. And we had really great times together. And a lot of us are still really close too. But those kind of bonds and being with those people all day, every day, because that's where you spend the majority of your life, really. It's 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, usually maybe more. These are the people that you are with all the time. They are another kind of family. And I remember a past coworker, kind of a grumpy guy. He's like, I don't need to be friends with people at work. I'm thinking, well, that's a shame because you're missing out big time. You spend the majority of your time with these people. And if you don't even want to get to know them or form relationships, okay, I get it, but it's your loss, and that's too bad. It made me kind of sad, and I didn't understand it because I love forming relationships with everyone everywhere I go. I love it. But Capital was a great place for me. So if you have a job that you love it, you wish you were making more money, I just look at the aspects that money can't buy, that a difference in salary would not change. And maybe it's the people. It's usually the people. Sometimes it's the work. Capital was fun. We got tickets to concerts. The artists were always coming in and out. I mean, I can't even tell you all the people I met. And I had some really amazing moments with Paul McCartney and Tina Turner. And we had the secret Duran Duran concert in the parking lot not long after I started there. And uh, we had a Beach Boys party in the parking lot. We filled the parking lot up with sand and had this big beach party, and the Beach Boys played. It was awesome. I think it was the 30th anniversary of, crap, maybe it was the 20th anniversary because this was the 90s. It was either Good Vibrations or Pets. Oh God, I can't remember. But anyway, it was awesome. So we've had a lot of fun, and you can imagine within the company, it seemed like there was always some kind of party going on. When I was in the art department, which is where I met my husband, our office was, or the department was on the ninth floor, right next to the main conference room for the whole building. So there was always some kind of party going on in there. There was somebody's going away party, somebody's birthday party. Uh, there we had record release parties and artist uh, mix and mingle parties. So it was really fun. And granted, it was a little more fun than some other people are going to have maybe working at a bank or something. But the thing that really makes it great is the people. So that was one thing that I really appreciated. So what do you appreciate about where you work or the work that you do? Maybe you already work independently and you have your own business. What are the aspects of that you can really appreciate? That you have the freedom to arrange your schedule the way you want, to change it up any way you want to better fit your needs to make sure that you are getting what you need to be the best that you can be serving your business and your customers. And there are always positive aspects. So I just want you to look for those positive aspects and focus on them and find what feels good. And also, as I've said, I've had jobs where I was like, oh, no, this is not for me. And I was out. And sometimes it was stressful and scary because I'm like, crap, now I don't have a job. Maybe I should have stayed there and just toughed it out. So you have to do what feels good to you, what feels right to you. But if you're in a situation that is detrimental to you in any way, if anybody is being abusive, like verbally abusive, if there's any kind of harassment going on, you really need to get out because your well-being is worth way more than the salary that you're making. But if it's way too scary, I get it. Just make sure you're taking care of yourself as best you can while you're in that situation. But there's always something better out there for you. Always something better. And wherever you are, you can appreciate the positive aspects of where you are and just make sure that you are looking for what feels good. Find what feels good in your work, in your job, in your coworkers, in your clients, in the location where you work, in the business that you're involved in. It's all about finding what feels good. So I hope this helped a little bit if you're feeling kind of like about your job, or maybe you're looking for a new job. Maybe this will get you into a better energy moving forward and looking for a new job, or maybe you want to change it up. And this is kind of that little boot that you needed to help you get into a better energy to go look for something else. So however, this may have helped you, I hope it did. And I want to thank you for joining me again. I really appreciate you being here. And I also want to remind you, if you haven't already, to subscribe to the channel, leave your comments below. I lost my words there for a minute. If you want these videos delivered straight to your inbox every Friday, jump over to my website, tannamarshall.com, join the mailing list. You'll get a special message from me every Friday. That only goes out to my list. You'll get the message before anybody else. So have a great weekend, hopefully off from work, and just enjoy yourself. But when it comes to work, find what feels good in every aspect and know that you can have something that is fulfilling on all levels and you deserve that. So remember that. I'll see you next time.